how do I hire an attorney?
Well, that's always a tricky question. I mean, when you get into these situations with trusts and wills, doesn't matter if you're doing a trust contest, challenging the validity of a trust, or you're going after trust accounting, it's hard to know who you should hire because it is a specialty and a lot of people don't understand this. So there's not that many attorneys who practice in trust and wills, but within that universe of trust and will attorneys, there's an even smaller group that does the litigation side. That's the court work, the stuff that we do when we're in court. And so you really have to find somebody who knows both the trusts and wills side of your case, but also knows their way around litigation because there's going to be subpoenas, depositions, there could be a trial. So, I mean, there's a lot to put together. So how do you take all of that? Knowing that this is kind of a specialty, how do you find the right person, in your opinion, Stewart?
Well, in my opinion, I suggest that people go to Google. You always go to Google to start and put in trust litigation California, trust litigation accountings, those kind of things, trust litigation probate, and you'll get a hodgepodge of firms that practice in this area. And then it's just a matter of looking through their websites, seeing if you feel comfortable with them. If you do, call, interview them. Generally, just because 2 or 3 firms are qualified, you want to go with the firm that you have chemistry with and that you feel good about and that you had a good interaction with.
Right.
And so an in-person meeting, you can't beat that. But if you can't do an in-person meeting because of the distance, give a phone call, talk to them, ask them, have they dealt with accountings before? Have they dealt with litigated matters pertaining to accountings? Lawyers shouldn't be offended by that. I'm not offended when people ask me those questions.
Right.
And so I'm happy to say, yes, we've dealt with thousands of those things. And yes, we can do a good job for you. But ultimately, you need to feel good about who you're hiring. They need to be able to explain, at least from a 30,000-foot standpoint, this is what we can do for you. This is what we can't do for you. But here's what we can do, and here's what we're going to try to do for you.
And I think it's good to talk to a couple different firms, get a feel for them. I mean, trust your gut. If you have a bad reaction with somebody, you know, that probably means something. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But this is somebody that, when you work with a lawyer, it's somebody you have to trust throughout the duration of your case.
That's right.
And you don't want to start that relationship without trust. And so if you don't feel a connection and a trust with somebody at the outset, I think it's better not to hire that lawyer for whatever. It doesn't matter what the reason is. It's just, you know, try to find somebody else. The other point I would make is you got to make sure you find a lawyer that matches the style that you want. So, for example, at our law firm, we tend to be on the more aggressive side. We like to file these cases for beneficiaries. We like to work them very quickly and very hard. And we like to kind of have a more aggressive approach. A lot of people like that, but not everybody. Some people would rather try to spend some time working things out outside of court before filing.
That's right.
By sending letters and trying to negotiate. Now, in our opinion, we don't like that. We don't think it works. We don't see a whole lot of value in doing that. But that doesn't mean that we're always right. There certainly could be cases where resolution could be had, I suppose, if you do it outside of court. But again, you have to mirror like the style that you want for your case. Your lawyer has to be on the same page. And so if you're hiring an aggressive law firm, but you don't want an aggressive representation, that's probably a bad fit. So you should think about that.
Right. I agree with all that.
Albertson and Davidson is here to help you fight for your inheritance. Check out aldavlaw.com for our complete library of helpful legal videos and articles from your favorite California trust and will litigation law firm, Albertson and Davidson, LLP.